folks, thanks for joining me today. In today's tutorial, we are going to be working with a Mad River rock, and we're going to be painting a little chickadee. I've never done a chickadee before, so this is my first try, and I thought I'd share it with you as I went through the process. So one thing that I should have done was put on a background first. And you'll see why a little bit later. So I am sketching out where I want the pieces of the chickadee, the different colors, the shape, and it's going to be perched on a tree branch. And I'm just sort of sketching it out and making it the way that I want. And then I just put on sort of like a little marker where I want the eye to be. So I used some burnt umber as the color. It was just a little sort of like a hyphen or a dash that I put on with my paintbrush. And now I am doing the black portion, so the cap on the chickadee. So this is a Mad River stone, like I said, and what happened was once I finished painting everything, I sort of gave a little squirt of water just to see what color the stone would go when it was resined. Well, it turns out that the colors that I used to paint the tree were almost identical to the color of what the rock would go once I resined it. So it actually looked a little bit like the chickadee was just sort of sitting there floating, not sitting on anything. So I have to do a background after I have painted the entire chickadee and the tree. So you'll see what I mean when we get a little bit later into the video. But where there's a will, there is a way, and I figured it out. So stay tuned for that. But basically what I'm doing now is just really working on the different feathers and colors for the chickadee. So I did his tail and his wing. And basically all I did was I used black and white, and I used my brush in like a flicking motion so that I could get the illusion of feathers. So by doing this, it also gives me the different tones, the different colors that I need, and it really made it look like feathers, kind of like what I'm doing right now for his chest and for his belly. I'm using straw, the color straw, with some white, and I'm just flickering my brush. So just really quick strokes with a flick of the wrist, and I get those feather kind of effect by doing it that way. So the white that I'm using is Wicker white, and it's from FolkArt. The black and the white and the burnt umber are all products of DecoArt. And then the straw that I'm using right now is made by Delta. And when I get into doing the background, I use Blue Daub and Pale Mint Green. And I kind of mix those together just by blending it in with my blending brush. So you'll see that, like I said. So now I'm going to do the branch. So this color, which is burnt umber, is actually what the rock turns to when it's wet. I really should have tested this prior to putting the paint down, but I was so excited about this. So this is like I said, a custom order that was put in, and I'm just getting to it now. And I thought it would be really fun to film it at the same time and let you know basically the way that I created this and different techniques that I used. So I'm just using a flat brush right now, and I am just being random with it. I didn't really draw on any of the branches above him or around him. I just drew the branch that he would be sitting on. So the rest of this is all from just my mind and where I see these branches. I was thinking of putting maybe some little buds on it, or maybe some berries or something, like he was sitting there ready for a snack. But I decided that I would go as a winter theme. So you'll see that as well as we continue. But basically, I'm just using this flat brush. I am now adding in some of that burnt ember that's mixed in with white. And I'm just giving it some texture, the different colors back and forth. I'm not blending, I'm just adding in these extra colors to give it kind of like a 3D dimension. So with the magic of editing, there it is. The tree and the branches are all done. And now I'm just adding in some little highlights to show more of a 3D effect. You know, the bark is going to be kind of, like choppy, I guess is the word I'm looking for. It's rough. It's rough bark that he is sitting on. So I do all of this just by using burnt umber and some white and mixing it in. Sometimes I throw in a little bit of that straw just to give it a little bit of a different color. And I'm just adding in all of the highlights and lowlights to give it a 3D effect. So it was pointed out to me that I say a lot. And I have to admit that when I listen to my playback after I've done my voiceover, I do say a lot. And most of the time, I don't even realize that I'm saying it. So I do apologize for a lot of those awkward pauses. There's one right there. But that's who I am. I just, I throw in that little and it's kind of my signature, I guess. And I'm really sorry for that if it annoys anybody, or if it's something that bothers you. I do apologize. Most of the time, I don't even realize that I'm saying it. It's more of a space filler. I don't like pauses or blank spaces in the video, if you will. I do talk like this normally as well, and it was pointed out to me. So it's something that I need to work on, and I'm going to practice, and you guys are going to be my audience to practice on. So I am going to really work hard on doing that and practice my speech and my talking. And I really hope that I can improve so that it's not so noticeable. But now that I've said it, and if you've never noticed it, you're really going to notice it now. So sorry about that, but it is what it is. So now I'm just adding a little bit more of that straw that's not as muted with the wicker white to give it more shadows. So it has more of a solid color closer to the branch, and that just gives that illusion of like the roundness of the bird, so that you can almost see the curve. The brush strokes help with that as well. So if you're putting on your brush strokes as like straight down, then it's not going to give you that curved effect for that illusion. So you really need to put your brush strokes down and curve them. Now I did notice too that the chickadee's belly, it's kind of like sitting on the branch. So I needed to bring it further beyond the opposite side of the branch. So you can really see that he's actually sitting on there and he's balancing on the branch. I will be putting in some little toes that are holding onto the branch as well. But I really wanted to get the feathers put into this. So it's just a matter of using different colors of the small palette of colors that we have. And by blending them together, adding a little bit of white, adding a little bit of brown, of that burnt ember, and working your way up. And that's how you would blend it. So that's exactly what I am doing here now. So the up on his face, it's white underneath the cap, I guess, and it blends down into the more lighter brown or the straw color that I'm using, and it just as you go down, if you look up any pictures on Google or bird books, anything like that you have available, you'll notice that they go from this really white color on their face, on their neck, and then blends down into this kind of like a light tan or a golden color on their chest, their belly, and their under, well, the bottom of their belly, I guess. So, and now I'm just going to be adding in some wisp marks, so it looks like the feathers they're going over top of each other. Another tip too that I want to give you is when you're doing feathers, start from the bottom and work your way up, because the top feathers always lay over top of the bottom and they work their way down the bird's body. So you always start at the bottom so that your next row of feathers will overlap the ones on the bottom. I hope that makes sense. So that way you move your way up the body and the top feathers are overlaid on top of the bottom layers. So that's what I did, moved from the bottom up and then really made it blended in with all of these other feather types. I also make some little, I guess, like quick strokes with my fine lining brush. I will be showing you that shortly. Now I'm just sort of rounding off the cap to make it even with the bottom part of his face. And I'm just adding in quick little swipes, I guess, of my paintbrush to add a little bit of overlap of the black into the white. And it just, again, gives that illusion of the feathers that are on the bird. And I do that throughout the entire thing. So I am layering on top of the layer that's below. So it's just to give that illusion of feathers and to make them look a little bit, I guess, fuzzy. Like, especially in the wintertime, they are a little bit more puffier because birds make themselves into like a sphere. And because heat has a hard time to escape if you're round, because it just sort of sticks with you like in a circular motion. So when you're cold, you tend to really huddle and bring everything close. Well, that's what birds do. They puff themselves up so that they're in a sphere or in a round shape so that they don't lose their heat, which is kind of cool. So I'm doing his eye now, and just very, very lightly with the white paint, I'm adding some highlights to give him some really nice looking eyes so that you can see it, because his eye is really a black eye in a black feathered part. So we've got to make it look like you can see it. And I sharpened up his beak, and now I'm just going to add those little swipes there to add some fuzziness to his head for the feathers so that he can keep his warmth within and doesn't get cold on a winter day. So I'm just doing up a few touch-ups here. I found myself going back quite a bit, back and forth, because I really, really wanted this to be as realistic as possible. And I will tell you that the person who ordered this has already seen pictures of it and was so impressed he couldn't believe that I had painted it, first of all, and second of all, how real it looked. So I was very, very happy that he was very, very happy. So it's another satisfied customer. But I did ask if it was okay if I shared the process with you. So here we are doing the background, but I got to protect everything that I've painted. So I'm just putting on some painter's tape and I'm covering up all of my painted parts that I don't want extra paint on. Now I'm going in with my handmade blending brush and I'm putting on some blue daub, and I'm going to come in with some pale mint green, but I'm not going to blend it completely. So it's gonna be a little bit blotchy, and that's okay. And I did speed this up a bit so that, I mean, it's just a background on what I'm doing. I really should have done this before I painted, but like I said, it was kind of an afterthought. I didn't realize that the colors that I used would actually disappear with the rock because of the rock color when it gets wet. So unfortunately, it is what it is. I didn't want to start over. I was very happy with my painting. So I sat and I thought about it, and this is the solution that I came up with. So I just covered, like I said, and like you saw, all of the paint of the tree and of the bird, covered it all up with painter's tape. And then I'm just dabbing on some color of the blue. It's really, really light blue. It's almost like a winter blue that you could use for snow. It is white with a hint of blue to it. And then the pale mint green is exactly the same thing, except it's got a slight hue of green to it. So I liked the mixture of the two because it really showed, like it felt like winter. And that's why I did that. So, and I'm getting as close as I can to the branches because I know that I can go back in and fix up those branches with some of my brown paint that I had used. So I'm okay that if I cover up any, because I can come back in and redo that again. So that's why I didn't cover up all the branches. If I did, oh my gosh, I would be like cutting out such small pieces of tape and then trying to fit it on there as perfect as possible. So I'm happy that I didn't worry about that. But in the end, it does turn out and look really, really good. You'll also notice that the tree trunk does get lost on the left side. Once I resin it, I should have done maybe an outline on the other side as well. But you know, hindsight, live and learn, and that's just, you know, how it goes. So, but I am happy with the way that this turned out. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you know if this is what you would have done, if it had have come down to it where you discovered you should have put a background on first. Let me know in the comments as well that what you think of my first attempt at a chickadee. This was a lot of fun, a lot of learning experience for me, looking at a lot of pictures. But now I can take off the tape, so I can get into more closer detail. I'm actually quite impressed with how this worked out. So now I'm just going to go in and I'm going to add some snow to cover up any of that bits and pieces that I couldn't get in close enough with my blending brush. And I'm just using the Wicker white from FolkArt to add snow on the tops of the branches. And then anywhere there is a connection, I make like a U shape of snow buildup, and it turns out looking really good. I just wish I had done something on the other side of the tree to really define it from the rock, but I didn't. You'll see that in the end at the reveal. So let me know if you like this video by giving me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It's free, and ring the little notification bell just by giving it a quick click, and it will let you know when I post something new. I have said in my previous videos, I do have some fun things that are coming up. I've got my art show that's coming up, and I'm really excited about, and I've been busy preparing for it. And I plan on doing like a reveal or like a bring you on the tour type thing to see my setup that I have for the art show that I will be attending in, it's like 2 weeks. It's like crazy. I can't burn. Oh, maybe it's 3 weeks. No, it'd be 2 weeks. I don't know. I'm really excited about it. And I just hope that I get there on time. But yes, I plan on doing that, bringing you guys along so that you can see all of my other artwork that I do other than just stones, because I do so many other things that I really don't know how I find the time to be creative and continue doing these things that I do, plus getting content out for you guys and for sharing my tips and tricks and what I've learned with you. And the fact that maybe you're just, hanging out to just listen to me say all the time, or watching me make these creations come alive on rocks. Whatever your reason is for being here, I appreciate you being here. I thank you so much for the support. It's been quite a journey so far. I'm looking forward to more of this journey. I've been having a blast with every one of you to bring these paintings to you and for you to learn from my mistakes. That's the point of these videos, is to maybe give you some inspiration, maybe the odd tips and tricks along the way, all of that good stuff. That's what I'm here for. And I'm really happy that I can do that for you. So thank you so much for coming back and watching my videos and maybe learning something, or just enjoying watching and listening to me talk about it and say about 12 million times. Anyway, so I'm just going to finish up this video here with adding a few more pieces of snow in that chunky bark on the rock, and then it's finished. I let it dry overnight before I give it a coat of resin, and then it's done. So there you have it, folks. Life is what you make it, so get creative.